Howard to speak. Howard's done a fantastic job, as you know, Secretary of Commerce. And I'm going to ask Howard and Will. Will, could you just give a quick description of what we're doing and what we're signing, et cetera? And
yes, sir.
I will do that. Go ahead.
We have two items for your attention today, sir. A major focus of your administration has been shifting the conversation and shifting the policy dynamics around the issue of immigration, closing the border, preventing illegal immigration, but also, as is the case with the executive order in front of you, opening new pathways for truly extraordinary people to come contribute to America instead of taking away from it. So this executive order is entitled the Gold Card. It will set up a new pathway, a new visa pathway for foreigners of extraordinary ability who are committed to supporting the United States for a payment of $1 million to the U.S. Treasury, or if a corporation is sponsoring them, $2 million by that corporation, and that will give them access to expedited visa treatment as part of this new Gold Card program.
And one of the biggest problems we have is that people, they go to the best schools and they do great and they get great marks, and then they're thrown out of the country. You're not allowed to stay. This way, a corporation will be able, sort of like a signing bonus in baseball or football, a corporation will be able to get them to stay in the country. And I think it's going to be tremendously successful. Howard, would you say a few words about it, please?
Sure. So historically, the employment-based green card program let in 281,000 people a year. And those people, on average, earned $66,000 a year on average, and they were 5 times more likely to go on assistance programs of the government. So we were taking in the bottom quartile, below the average American. It was illogical. The only country in the world that was taking in the bottom quartile. So what we are doing now is we are going to stop doing that. We're going to only take extraordinary people at the very top. Instead of people trying to take the jobs from Americans, they're going to create businesses and create jobs for Americans. And this program will raise more than $100 billion for the Treasury of the United States of America.
Which we'll use for cutting taxes and paying down debt. We think it's going to be very successful. Essentially, we're having people come in, people that in many cases, I guess, are very successful or whatever, and they're coming in, they're going to spend a lot of money to come in, they're going to pay as opposed to walking over the borders, and they may come from jails, prisons, and everything else. These people don't. They're very productive people, and they're going to pay $1 million. The corporation's going to pay $2 million. And it's going to raise billions of dollars, billions and billions of dollars, which is going to go to reduce taxes, pay off debt, and other good things. So I think it's going to be very successful.
Mr. President,
what?
Are the big techs on board with this decision?
I wish you'd speak more clearly. I really do. Give it to me again.
Are the big techs, the CEOs, on board with this decision?
Big tech?
Tech companies. Big tech companies.
Yeah, big tech. Yeah, it's big tech. It's every company. It's big tech. It's big tech. It's big everything. Okay, it's a company. I said it's not a tech company. It's tech companies and everything else. It's companies having a hard time getting people to be able to stay in the country. It's very difficult. Now, if you want to walk through the border, you can have no problem. People say, well, the best way to come in is walk right through the border. But they can't do that anymore because under our administration, the border is totally closed. You can only come in if you come in legally, and that's the way it's been, and that's the way it should be. And we're taking a lot of people out of the country that are here from prisons, from jails, from mental institutions, and even insane asylums, people that are crazy. We're taking them out of the country. We're getting them out of the country because you can't have a country like that. And I tell you, Christie and Tom Homan and all of the people that have worked so hard on this, they've done an unbelievable job. And I think we're getting great marks for it. People feel safe. Washington, D.C. is just the beginning. We brought the numbers down in Chicago a little bit by having the FBI in there for the last 5 months. We brought the numbers down in Memphis a little bit, but now we're going for the big one. Now we're going to go for the big one. But we set ourselves up very well in Chicago, Memphis, New Orleans a little bit, going in early just to see what was happening. We study it. We're studying the site. It's sort of like war. I mean, I hate to tell you, it's like war. Some of these people are really bad. They're really, really sick people. They're dangerous people. They're killers. They're murderers, drug dealers, and you can't have it. You can't have a country like that. It's so beautiful to see in Washington, D.C., that people are walking down the middle of the street, and they're going to restaurants, and you are too. And half of you were mugged. I mean, I don't know if she's here now. I don't see her, but some people were badly mugged that were reporters. 2 of the people right standing in the back of the room were mugged, and they're not going to have that anymore. And if you look at the crime stats in Washington, D.C., you have a safe place again. They were afraid to go to a restaurant because the restaurant would be held up while they're having dinner. And so they'd be mugged going there, and assuming they escape the mugging, they go to the restaurant and then they're held up. This is how bad it's been. Yeah.
Follow up on the visa question. I think this may be the next thing that you're signing, but for the H-1B visa action that
Yeah,
you're
that's going to be next. We'll talk about that.
You're very close to the technology
Yeah.
CEOs. Are they concerned about that?
I think they're going to be very happy. Everyone's going to be happy. And we're going to be able to keep people in our country that are going to be very productive people. And in many cases, these companies are going to pay a lot of money for that. And they're very happy about it. Okay, we'll talk about that next, all right? Okay. My friend, why don't you keep that, okay?
Thank you.
That's such a good...
Hello. Welcome to California First. My name is Dennis, and we just witness President Trump sign executive order for the gold card. Trump gold card. He been saying it for a while. He been telling people about that for a while, and finally it's here. And I'm going to interrupt his signing and go to, let's see, okay. Interrupt the signing, and let's go to the website and look at the and look at the detail of the let's see, okay. This is the website. The website is trumpcard.gov. Trumpcard.gov, which is official government website. So people will not get confused. And hey, Trump loves gold color, everything. He loved it, okay? And I think it's beautiful. I like it too, but I'm already American citizen. Right? I think President Trump should offer a gold card for American citizen as a souvenir. Souvenir. Oh man. Oh yeah. You did. And it's an exclusive privilege. Okay, here is there's a for business and also for individual. Okay, I'm going to look at for the individual first. $1 million is for many people who want to come to America. I think $1 million is not too expensive. Yeah, but it's a good way for both, for the one who wants to come here and for America too. Okay, so we can have the money. Okay, this is not including the attorney fee. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I try to read the comment. I try to read the. Oh, you want one? Yeah. Okay. Just go to the website. I'm going to show you. Another one is platinum. Okay. Platinum is a 5 million. Okay. And doesn't have much detail on this one, so I don't know. Okay. So what you have to do is just submit your application, which is on the bottom of the page. And then 3-step careful consideration. Those are background check and all those stuff, It's understandable. All those background check. It's not like Biden, just let everyone come into the country. It doesn't make sense. But this totally makes sense. Totally amazing, great. I'm so looking forward for this to come out, because $1 million, I think, is, before you were saying 5 million, and I'm going to tell you later about the platinum is 5 million. Platinum is 5 million. This one. Okay. This one is not come out yet. It's still coming soon. It's coming soon. But we got a gold card already. Okay. I think the gold card looks better than the platinum, because the platinum is in on a monitor. It's just on the monitor. It's just silver. Doesn't look great. Okay. So down here, apply. All you have to do, very simple. Okay. And see how many lines? Okay. You want a gold card? Okay, platinum, you get it on the wait list, or later I'm going to talk about the corporation. Okay, just put in your information, submit. That's it, and just wait. Get your money ready. Okay, and on the bottom, got all information you need to know. Yeah, it's very simple. See, that's what I like about Trump. Simple English. Didn't make everything so complicated and people having hard time to understand the procedure. It's just like that. Okay. Straightforward. Everything is very straightforward. But with the TDS, people with TDS, they will always have something to go against. Okay? Against it. Against whatever Trump did. Oh, and the $1 million is not for Trump. Okay? It's just called Trump card. I don't know why, but but whatever. But the purpose of the card, the money is going to the Secretary of Commerce. Okay, so look at the corporation. Okay, it's really quick, because I want to spend more time on Steve Hilton, Jack Hibbs video. I want to spend more time there. And so this one is really quick. I'm going to talk about just show the people who want to come America. President Trump did not against immigration. Okay, he is mega against illegal. Oh man, if you just cut and paste, you're doing spam. I'm going to put you time out because it's really because it's very annoying. Because you're not doing anything. Cut and paste. Because a lot of people want to post a variable comment. Okay. People can give suggestion too. And about this gold card, they like it or they don't like it. You just say scam, you don't even know. No proof. It's a scam. It's from US government. So those people, really annoying. So I just give them a timeout. I think I pressed 30 minutes. Those people. Okay, for business, only 2 million. Oh my goodness. Wow, this is a discount, big discount for companies. See, the companies can invest in the US, and also they invest $2 million and they can start, wow, this is really, really cheap. Same thing, opportunity, apply now. Oh, same thing, the bottom, okay? But this only, wow, only 2 million. and then you can become residents for your employees. Okay, and later after this, I'm going to talk about the H-1B visa too. Okay, so stay tuned. Let's see what President Trump has to say, because the next video is okay. Continue. Is President Trump is going to talk about the H-1B visa. Okay.
Good job. Okay. It's phase one. John, are you happy? Pick. Okay, let's go.
Thank you, Mr. President. One of the most abused visa systems in our current immigration system has been the H-1B non-immigrant visa program. This is supposed to allow highly skilled laborers who work in fields that Americans don't work in to come to the United States of America. What this proclamation will do is raise the fee that companies pay to sponsor H-1B applicants to $100,000. This will ensure that the people they're bringing in are actually very highly skilled and that they're not replaceable by American workers. So it'll protect American workers, but ensure that companies have a pathway to hire truly extraordinary people and bring them to the United States.
We need workers. We need workers. We need great workers. And this pretty much ensures that that's what's going to happen. I think, Sean, do you agree with that?
Well, they're $100,000 per year. So the whole idea is no more will these big tech companies or other big companies train foreign workers. They have to pay the government $100,000, then they have to pay the employee. So it's just not economic. If you're going to train somebody, you're going to train one of the recent graduates from one of the great universities across our land. Train Americans, stop bringing in people to take our jobs. That's the policy here. $100,000 a year for H-1B visas, and all of the big companies are on board. We've spoken to them about the gold card.
They love it. They love it. They really love it. They need it. Go ahead, Sean.
Mr. President, it seems like there's two categories of visa programs. The H-1B, that a lot of people believe take American jobs, and then the gold card and programs like EB-5 that add value and jobs to America. Is that sort of how you look at the visa program?
Well, ideally, look, if somebody's got the people, they're not going to want to spend $100,000 as an example in your second category. So it's not taking jobs. And we need certain jobs. We need certain skill jobs that we don't have. But they won't be taking jobs because, you know, ideally the people aren't going to want to, they're not going to have.
Investing in America.
Right, that's right.
So that's what I'm asking.
They're really investing
It seems
in
like
it.
you have two categories. One, the Secretary left things, the gold card and EB-5 that create jobs, add investment, and there's other ones that seem to take, you know, whether it's a J1 and O or an H-1B that take U.S. jobs.
Yeah, it's pretty correct. I mean, I would say that's a correct assessment. But the main thing is we're going to have great people coming in, and they're going to be paying. I mean, it's wonderful to say, oh, gee, we took in 25 million people that, look, many criminals, jails were open from Venezuela, from many other countries, and they were let out of jail and poured into our country, our poor country, how it suffered with this stupid president that we had and the stupid people that surrounded him right around this desk, these liberal, crazy people that have destroyed, they could have destroyed. If we didn't win this election, our country would have been dead. Our country was dead. Think of it, and I've said this, man. The King of Saudi Arabia said, your country was dead 1 year. They thought it was dead. This country couldn't have survived another year of those people running it. And now we have the hottest country anywhere in the world. Think of that. And this is going to help. And we're taking in hundreds of billions of dollars. This will be taking in, the gold card will be taking in hundreds of billions of dollars. And companies will be able to keep some people that they need. You know, they need people of expertise, great expertise. And I think it's going to be a fantastic thing. And we're going to take that money and we're going to reduce taxes. We're going to reduce debt. We have a very, very strong country. We assuming everything works out great with the lawsuit that we have a lawsuit that's inspired by foreign countries that ripped us off for 25 years. But assuming we win that, we hopefully win it in the Supreme Court of the United States. We have a country that no stopping us. We're rich, we'll be rich. We can take care of poor people. We can take care of our military. We can take care of everything. We can take care of beyond the country. We can help take care of the world. That we don't, it'll just be the same struggle that we've had for years where other countries charged us tariffs and they ripped us off. Our country has been ripped off more than any country in the history of the world. And now we're doing what we have to do. We're taking in billions and billions of dollars at levels that nobody has ever seen, trillions of dollars. And we're using it to reduce debt. We're using it to reduce taxes. The great big beautiful bill is a big tax reduction. It's being paid for by the tariffs, and people are paying a lot less money in taxes. They're being, think of it, no tax on tips, no tax on Social Security, no tax on overtime. It's an unbelievable phenomenon. It really is. It's the golden age. We're making it the golden age. Without the tariffs, it would be impossible. And China, for years, charged us tariffs, and they continue to do it, and so do other countries. Most countries, they charge us. They were ripping. Look, the European Union, as you know, I get along very well with them, but they ripped us off so badly. Nobody's ever seen anything. Now, the European Union is paying us $950 billion, and they're paying us $750 billion to buy our energy, and they're okay with it. They signed the agreement. You know, it's not like anybody forced them to do it. They're okay with us. Tariffs are making our country very rich again, and we'll be able to take care of our debt. We'll be able to take care of our taxes, lower taxes. We'll be able to take care of Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security. We're going to be a rich country again. Without tariffs, we'd be in very big trouble.
H-1Bs are sometimes used by people already in the country legally. On other visas or student visas, does this apply to them or to renewals, or does it only apply to people applying for the first time from abroad?
Renewals, first times. The company needs to decide, is that person valuable enough to have a $100,000 a year payment to the government, or they should head home and they should go hire an American. The whole idea, it's annual, and it's for total. It can be a total of 6 years. So $100,000 a year, so either the person is very valuable to the company and America, or they're going to depart and the company's going to hire an American, and that's the point of immigration. Hire Americans and make sure the people coming in are the top people. Stop the nonsense of letting people just come into this country on these visas that were given away for free. President is crystal clear. Valuable people only for America. Stop the nonsense.
And remember, the country,
That's just a fee, right?
yeah,
Fee to America.
the country would rather not have to pay $100,000, but and they'd rather. How do you do that? You hire Americans. So there's an incentive to hire American. But there may be instances where it's better off doing it through expertise or whatever it may be. But they're both unbelievable, whether it's a gold card or anything else that we talked about today. And that includes talking about freedom of speech, because our country has been decimated by bad people, very bad people, people that love crime. They love crime. Explain it to me. They don't want to have our military go in and save lives. But when you go and ask the people, do you mind having the National Guard come in if it meant safety? They look at the questioner like, what's wrong? What kind of a stupid question is that? Of course they do. We're going to have a safe country again. We're not going to have people shot, 11 people shot. Think of it. In Chicago, over a period of 6 or 7 weeks, 55 people were murdered. And then you have a governor saying how wonderful it is. It's not wonderful. It's a very unsafe. There's not a place in the world. You go outside, you go to Afghanistan, you go to different places all over the world that you hear about. It's 20% of what's happening in places like Chicago. And you think of them as unsafe. Mexico City, it's a tough place, dangerous place. The crime rate is lower. Think of it. What's happening to our country? We're not going to let it happen. And I think I got elected largely for that reason. So we're going to have a safe country again. We're going to have a great country again. We're doing unbelievably. We have the highest stock market in history. We have the most investment we've ever had, ever, as a country coming in. And we're very simple. You know, they said, how'd you get elected? I got elected because I'm going to make America great again. That's what we're doing. We're making America great again. Thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you. Exciting, very exciting. Okay, and I'm welcome all the TDS. Welcome all the TDS. Okay, but as long as you put on positive comment, okay, and I'm welcome. But I doubt it. TDS is, that's why they call TDS. They cannot produce production, produce positive comments. Okay. Okay. Now let's look at the H-1B visa. $100,000 fee. $100,000 fee. And I think it's a great idea. I like it. Because at some point the whole thing, we are American first mega, okay, and many within our mega, they within American first group, they don't want to hand our job to a foreigner, okay, and that's reasonable. That makes sense because my company lose a lot of money because of the outsource, okay? So I understand how they feel. We don't want any outsource. We want people to make the money here, okay? And how are we able to also, because we need people, we need talented people, not like Jimmy Kimmel, those, we need real talented people, and it's not easy. So, but at the same time, we don't want, before it's only $5,000. Because it's only $5,000, it become an immigration loophole. It's a loophole for people to come into America, just spend $5,000 and try to get a company. Anyone in here can start a company easily because of free market. Okay? And then once they start a corporation, a company, they just hire these people, hire that people. And the process is also very easy. Just post in a newspaper and saying, I need this specialty. And after, I think, 2 weeks, no, about a month, nobody respond. And then you can hire the one from other country. This is how IT got so many people. I don't want to specific in a certain industry. In this executive order, President Trump did put it more specific. It's in IT section, or like our computer industry. But I think it's not only that, it's more than that. Okay, so for some people will argue, okay, we did get a lot of benefit from it, but also at the same time we lost a lot of benefit too. They don't give us the number for how we lose the benefits. Okay, and some people, they come here, or some corporate, especially some like especially for CCP, okay, China company, straightforward. I don't want to like going around trying to get easier. Okay, thank you for watching. I need to stick around for a little bit longer because there's more good stuff coming, and we need, because like China, they open a company here. All they have to do is spend $5,000 per person, and they got a whole bunch of their IT invade in our industry, and after that, they can just send them back, or they can send them as a because they as a resume, and they send them to our American company, infiltrate our American company like Google, Facebook. We got a lot of people, they are working for China. They don't need they got double dip. They got the salary here and they got the salary from China. Okay, so that's not fair. That's not fair. And President Trump this way, okay, can close the loophole. How great is it? Okay. And besides that, $100,000 versus 5,000. Okay. If you're a corporation, now you have to think. Okay. Do you still want to hire someone? If you are decent, I'm not talking about like a CCP company, okay? I'm talking about decency, decent, a legitimate company. Then you can start thinking, okay, why not? You spend like 30,000, okay? Spend $30,000 to train someone here, okay? And also, before the $5,000, one more thing, they can easily, okay, this one is better. So really, I did some research. Not here. Okay, let's see. Not this one. Okay, let me see. It's really, oh man, I should put it out. Okay, sorry. I should put out in a different page. So I should show you. I should show you the page instead of just show you on the executive order. But the executive order is so you know what the actual executive order is. Instead of you listen to left-wing media, and someone will say, "Oh, the skill and the money, all the thing." So now, because I don't think many companies want to spend $100,000 to get someone to hire someone unless that person is capable of making $100,000, more than $100,000 for the company. For example, maybe $500,000, okay, for the company. So those highly skilled people, okay, and those are the people we need. We don't have to write it out, spell it out. We just let the company decide. Let each corporation decide if they want to hire certain people. Free market. Before, only $5,000 is just a loophole for immigration. Because after they got here, they can start applying green card. And because it's so cheap, only $5,000, the CCP company, they can hire 100 of them, okay? Now they can only have 10, which is not much impact instead of like versus 100, okay? And we all know about the CCP 1,000 people strategy. So this is pretty sure is like, we don't want to go, we don't want to go, yeah, I don't want to go that way, okay? Anyway, it's just closing the loophole. And if we look at how Democrat administration or Democrats right now, all those Democrats, they want highest minimum wage, everything. They make our cost of living like crazy, so expensive, everything so expensive. And then we have hard time to produce something that compete with other countries. And then they come back and say, see, it's impossible for us to produce because our product is so expensive. No one going to buy it. Because the Democrats, they try to, I don't want to ignore the comment. But the comment so far is stupid, okay? And let me one more time to show. I almost show every chat every time, okay? Okay. So people are lying and telling stuff. All I'm trying to do is telling the truth, let people know about the fact, instead of just report me I'm American. Howard, doesn't make sense. Okay. Oh, okay. Let me put this so everyone can see. Copy. Let me see. I think it's pretty good comparison. Let's see if we're able to come up. Okay, yeah. Okay, the cost here, talk about the cost. The fee, before it was like $5,000, not including the attorney fee. Okay. Yeah, this is the fact. Okay. So people will I-129 is the form. Okay, now let's really quick, because I really want to spend more time on the Steve Hilton video. Pros and cons. Okay, pros. Do intend. No. If you get, see, I just show the, I don't know, maybe I have to hang it right here, right top. Yeah, so people can see. Yeah, we have many products now making in USA now, thanks to President Trump. Okay. Still, those people who come in with H-1B visa, they can apply for green card. Probability. This is for employee. They can change their employee, whoever want to sponsor them. Okay. For employer, this is for employer can hire highly skilled, instead. See, back then, the intention of H-1B visa is not for highly skilled foreign workers. The whole thing become a vehicle for people to come here to get green card through H-1B visa. Okay, so now President Trump just closed the loophole. Well, if you have enough money for 100,000, if you hire 10, then might as well just pay $1 million to become a U.S. resident. Annual cap. Okay, this is the con. Can you read? Can people see it? Yeah, pretty good, pretty clear. So you guys can read it. Con for the employee, annual cap, and temporary status. Maximum stay of 6 years. Same thing right now. You cannot stay here forever and not applying for a green card or anything. You work, you have 6 years to do it. And this one, dependency. Because it's $100,000 to sponsor a person, so that person has to be loyal to the company. Not like back then, if $5,000, you just go sponsor someone else, okay? And it's not stable. So this make it more stable. Okay. So this is really, really good program. Of course, the TDS will say something else. That's because they just want to argue for the sake of arguing. Yeah, some people waited 10 years, and some people waited 10 years. People wait in line to come to America. And then Democrats, whether to have someone to cut the line and get their free hotel, free Medicare, or the mega American First is just looking for fairness, okay? And the Democrat is against the fairness. Democrat is for the criminals. Really sad, you know. So let me see. Someone say money doesn't equal skill. It's absolutely true. So they have to spend the money wisely from for the corporation's point of view. So they will see if that guy is worth it, $100,000. If that guy is not worth $100,000, next guy. We have so many smart people in the world. Okay? Many smart people, they want to come to America. They want to help this country. They just don't have the corporation, because it's when it's only $5,000, you don't see it. But $100,000, they will really look into it. And because they hire less people from the foreign country, and the demand is so high. Remember, see, President Trump's everything is chess, okay? If President Trump do this first, it's not going to help, okay? Without the tariffs, without the all the investment from the big company like $600 million, $300 million, $200 million of investment, all those big corporations, the investment back, putting money back into America. Without that doing first, this is meaningless. Because President Trump, in process, doing one by one. Of course, he's still working on trying to stop the war, while he already stopped 6 wars. Okay? And the Democrats not counting that, and the TDS are just bullshitting on the comment here. Oh, just change another account. Jay. Bye, Jay. I don't block people because I'm posting free speech, but Jay is not producing productive comment, so I'm going to time him. So he will have 10-minute timeout. Okay. This one great thing about having my own channel instead of just going to other people's channel. Okay. What's level to 51? You got the more detail, so I know what you're talking about. Okay. And everything going so fast. If you can super chat me, especially someone who want to like level 51, maybe you do a super chat, and then I will. People will know what you're trying to say. Okay. Your comment will stay there. Only $2. Only $2. Level to 51. I don't know what I mean. Okay. No sending money. So cheap. Okay. The Democrats are so cheap. They just like to spend other people's money. Okay. I have something fun, you know, instead of the politics, so boring, right? We have something fun to show you guys. Take a break from this. Then I'm going to come back with Steve Hilton. Let me see if I'm in the right process. Yeah. Okay, and then I'll come back to with the Steve Hilton. This guy is Hong Konger. young guy, Hong Konger, magician. Okay, very interesting magic. It does. In the, I think. Okay, let me see. I just turn off the sound. Let's see. Okay, something fun for everyone. Okay. Trying to read the comments right now. Show me the proof the war is done. Already show. Lift. Come on, man. Lift with David. Okay. You're driving lift. Okay. Nice. Okay, that's nice. But already proof. It's very easy. Just go to Grok or Gemini to do a quick search, and then you can see it instead of just lying over here. Boring. Okay. I'm sorry. Okay, let's see. Okay, let's see. Look at how, okay, he has a magnifier and someone is holding the lighter. Let's see. When the magnifier go over the, that was one of the magic. He show it in front of other people. Okay, and the other magic, look, this one is interesting. The people is sitting right next to him. How he does that? See? This is just one of the magic. One of the magic tricks. And the coin magic here. They use magnified glass. See? It's fun. He's coming to Las Vegas in October 25th. All the detail are in description. So all the description are in the detail. So and I don't get paid by showing you this. It's just doing favor for my friends. For my friend. Oh, I gotta check. Okay, good. Yeah, I thought I lost my voice. Let's see more stuff he done. Oh, okay, I gotta press right here. Some magic. I don't know. Is it cool? Is it fun? He did it in front of a camera. Oh, this maybe I have to move the top part. His head got cut off. I become a doodle, and he eat the doodle too. Okay. Let's see. Okay, let's go. Can move this then. Let's see. Let's see something. I have some. I see. I think. Oh, this is popular. Easy. That one is already. This one is interesting. I don't know how he does it. Okay. And let's see what else he has. This is crazy. He ate the phone. So you need a big mouth to be a magician. Otherwise, you cannot do this kind of trick. Okay, thank you very much. All the information in, let me see if I can, October 25th. Okay, all the information are at the bottom, are in the description. Check it out yourself. And Louis Yan, you can check out on his he has a YouTube channel too, so you guys can check him out. And now let's go to the next topic. Next topic is very heavy. It's not as fun as watching Trump talking about all the great event, great happening, great things. Let me look for it. Oh, also need to do this too. I gotta move away all the other stuff so I can easier to. Okay, let's watch this.
California voters stopped rigged elections by approving an independent redistricting commission where citizens decide, not politicians.
Prop 50 suspends this historic reform, destroying our reputation as a national leader for fair elections.
Prop 50 destroys congressional districts created by the Citizen Commission, letting politicians rig new districts for themselves, sacrificing fair elections and voter choice.
Don't let Prop 50 take us backwards. Keep California a leader for reform. Vote no on 50.
Now everyone's having dinners, they're going out at all.
Also on that video, we are voting no on 50, and more detail is also in description. I've been talking about that for a couple previous channel, did a lot of explanation already. I don't want to repeat myself, so please go check it out yourself, and so I can. Okay, now this is the guy, Steve Hilton. Okay, I have the Chinese subtitle in case for the Cantonese Chinese audience. And thank you very much for staying. So far, I still have 200 people around sticking around. Make a door-to-door sales team. Door-to-door. Okay. Make a door-to-door sales. Yeah, on the old day, that was, that's what they do. Nowadays, I think more on the internet. This is not magic. Thank you, Smokes. This is a great stream. Thank you. Oh, I gotta type it out. Put it in the web club. Thank you, stream. Appreciate. See, I'm just a human being. So confirmation does help make me feel better. Okay. Thank you, Smokes. Johnny Smokes. Thank you, Johnny. If you subscribe, and also please watch one of my short I did. Go to my short. One of the short I did is about Jimmy Kimmel. Oh no, it's not a short, it's a video about how Jimmy Kimmel purposefully mislead his audience. Okay, so that's why he get fired. So it's not about the free speech. It's about what he did, and ABC doesn't like it. And FCC and also violate FCC because FCC don't allow those kind of things, misinformation. Okay, and oh, thank you, Trinity. Oh, thank you. Okay, now this is heavy because this is the interview. Steve Hilton interview Pastor Jack Hibbs because they both are friend of Charlie Kirk. So a little bit emotion. Okay, Jimmy didn't do anything. No, Jimmy did. See, that's why I'm saying go back to the video I did about real reason. Oh, okay. I think I have to do this. I don't know if you guys can able to click in the comment, but let me try and show you. Okay, the stuff I did prove what Jimmy did. Okay, real reason ABC fires Jimmy Kimmel. That is the video. Totally, it's sorry. It's I'm trying to put the link, see if the link works. Can't get link. Okay. This is the link. And this is the title of the video. Okay. If you can click in and watch it, okay. That is the video about how Jimmy Kimmel mislead the public. And that's not allowing, that's violation of FCC. Your people. Oh. 10 minutes. 10 minutes from ice cream. What are you talking about? Forget. Okay. Now let's watch. Hopefully everyone can stay and watch this.
Told you last week this is a special about Charlie, and it's very special. Not much need for an introduction other than to say I'm going to be talking in this show with two people who knew Charlie incredibly well. Pastor Jack Hibbs, who's a friend of mine, and Andrew Kolvet, who's a friend of mine. Andrew, you may have seen in the last few days talking about Charlie. He was the producer of the Charlie Kirk Show, and here it is. Jack, it's obviously been a nightmare for us who knew Charlie, but what I've really been inspired by, of course, Erica, but you and some of the ways in which you've been guiding our response to this. I just want to start by asking you right now, this is Monday morning, September the 15th that we're taping this. How are you feeling?
Yeah, I was hoping you wouldn't ask me that. I have been so busy, Steve, since Charlie's passing that I've been able to wrongly, I stress, friends, wrongly mitigate my emotions by how busy my calendar is right now. And Steve, I can honestly tell you that the first chance I get, I need to get alone. I need to let it out. I haven't had the luxury of letting it all out. And so I'm kind of operating in somewhat of a, I'm realistically, don't get me wrong, I'm a Christian and I know exactly where Charlie is, but I'm kind of numb in a way whereby I'm reporting on things. I've been asked by outlets, what was my relationship and all. That's what I've been busy about. But Steve, you know very well, when we have these times of profound grief, we must always make sure that we get it out. The worst thing we can do is bottle it up. And I'm just waiting for enough. I just need like an hour to just kind of vomit out my emotions before God and get it out. And I think I'll be okay because again, we know where Charlie is. And yeah, so we're rejoicing, but we're also very sorrowful because we miss, you and I are missing a friend who has left a massive hole in so many ways.
I really appreciate you saying that, and I'll just give you my version of that, which is I completely understand. And in fact, it was interesting. I'm trying to recall because, of course, I'm very much in the same position. I've been out there, I've been talking, and I've been on the road in California doing campaign events, and I can tell you that's been an extraordinary experience because so many people everywhere. I'm in the northern part of the state, and every single meeting I've asked, before I get into my political speech, I'd like to talk about Charlie, if that's okay. And that's really all that anyone wants to hear about, actually. And I've just been telling stories about him, and it's been very, very difficult, but also very strengthening in some ways. But I just wanted to relate to your point about getting it out. It's interesting. I felt that very strongly. I think what day were we talking about? It must have been Thursday morning, and I just had to go. I had to get out. I went to this. There's a chair in next to our bedroom. My wife bought me for one of my birthday presents, a little armchair to go and read in at night if I wanted to read later than after she'd gone to bed. And so she bought me this chair, and it's a sort of cozy place. And I just sat in the chair and cried, and I'd had to just be there for a couple of hours actually.
Absolutely.
And I got on with it exactly as you said.
Yes, it's a must, and we do ourselves no favor by stuffing things away. A lot of people have been conditioned to stuff things away, and spiritually and psychologically, we've got to get stuff out. Grieving is a God-given ability to release things, so we must not shy away from it.
So let's get into, I'd love for you to share with our audience some of the things that you've been sharing generally, and as friends, just I'd love you to talk about how you met Charlie. What just whatever you'd like to say about him, honestly.
Yeah, well, first of all, I'm really delighted to be with you, Steve, because in most of those settings, it's not a friendship relationship. It's TV or whatever, and here it's you and I love you, and so have you noticed, Steve, that when it doesn't matter if you plug into to any media outlet at this current time, even to podcasts where people are saying, well, this is the Charlie that I knew, or this is the Charlie that I saw. What I mean by that is there are those who didn't like him. Like, let's say it's a Bill Maher type who had strong criticisms about Charlie, or even some of the pink-haired, purple-haired people, all the way over to the camp that was very familiar with Charlie. Isn't it amazing, Steve, that everyone has the exact same assessment of Charlie? The consistency from friend to foe, they are all saying the same thing. And what a testimony of Charlie's witness and Charlie's stability and Charlie's messaging. He didn't have to make up the messaging. He lived it. It was organic. It was natural. And everyone's saying the same thing. He was respectful. He was brilliant. He had such an intellect, and yet he was so humble. He made you feel, a man at 31 years of age, you don't usually get this from a young kid, but a man who made you feel like when he was speaking to you that you guys known each other all your lives. That's a gift. Very few people I've met in life exude that. And I think that ability, King George III, which I, as an American, speaking about our number one British enemy 250 years ago, it was famous that King George III was reported to be a man who caused all those who met with him to feel comfortable in his presence. This is the monarch of the world at the time, King George III, and you could go visit him apparently. Samuel Johnson talks about how he visited the king, and it made him feel like he had always known the king. Charlie was like that. A remarkable trait among so many others. Personal, Charlie did not in any way, shape, or form hide his love for this country, his love for Erica and his kids, and his love for God the most. And I've known him a long time, and he was Mr. Consistent, Mr. Stable.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. And one of the things that I've really been struck by, exactly as you say, it's the same things that are being said by people who knew him and people who didn't know him. And the other thing that's really interesting, just watching, and I'm loving seeing all the I can't get enough of it in a way. I have to tell you, I really am loving all the tributes. And what's really interesting, just as and the same things that where I feel that the things he has done to help me or support me, and there are many people he's much closer to than I am. But what was really interesting is so many people, the stories that come out of how Charlie helped them or encouraged them, and you think, my gosh, did he ever sleep? Because, like everyone, it seems, has, the encouraging text or the calls or the help or the practical help or whatever it may be. Just the amazing, obviously, I don't know, just the scale of his love and support and encouragement for people.
I love it. I'll say something that I don't think has been said yet, and you just made me think of it. You said something about, did he ever sleep? I asked Charlie the same thing. How do you cover so much ground? This is during the campaign of Trump, and Charlie was in 4 to 5 cities a day on his own. And I said, Charlie, do you ever sleep? He said, I sleep like a baby. I sleep like a rock. And I said, really? That's amazing. Like what? He goes, oh, I'll sleep just 6, 7, 8 hours. I said, are you kidding me? And he said, no. I go, how are you doing this? And he said, it's actually the calling. I said, I have a calling. And I have, it's a joy of my heart. He goes, when I wake up, he said, I just hit the ground running. I'm so excited to meet the day. Charlie was so enthusiastic to meet every day. You know this, Steve, but maybe your viewers right now have not heard this before. But Charlie he had a little regiment every day. And one of those things was not only move someone a little bit closer to Jesus, that was one of his things, but the other thing was that Charlie was passionate about learning something new every single day that he could record down. I learned this today. Steve, what a great way for any of our young people to, hey, it's a great thing for me to wake up and think, I want to learn a new thing today. Charlie practiced that. And yeah, his zeal, it's funny, his zeal, you and I saw, his ability to get things done and to cover so much ground, he didn't see it as some supernatural achievement. He was having so much fun in his life doing what he was called to do. And that's the key, to do what you're called to do.
Exactly right. Can you remember the first time you met him?
I did. It was around 2018, 2019. He was coming to the church at Calvary Chapel, Chino Hills, because a friend of his was going to speak. A friend of mine, a mutual friend. I had not met Charlie. I'd heard a little bit about him. And my friend, Rob McCoy, he said, are you sure you want me to speak tonight? Because I think you might want to have this kid speak, Charlie. I said, well, I've heard of Charlie. I don't know much about Charlie. And Rob goes, well, think about it. And I said, okay, yes, let's do that. And so, Charlie, hi, my name's Jack, and I'd like you to come on out there tonight and speak to these people. And Charlie came out and spoke, and I was told it was at the time, it was his largest Christian audience that he had been in front of. And Charlie, of course, did what Charlie always did. He just set the bar so high. And from that time on, it was beautiful because our services are broadcast. And Charlie texted me the next day, later in that afternoon, actually, and he said, I want you to know, since last night, I have been inundated with pastors asking me to come and speak at their church. Thank you very much. And that's how that came about. And so we were honored and happy to have him. It was on a lark. It wasn't scheduled, but God had a plan.
You mentioned Rob McCoy, of course, Mikey McCoy was Mikey, the most amazing, wonderful person who's
yes, he is.
Charlie's chief of staff, right-hand person. Just, in someone I just think, he's not a public person, so perhaps we shouldn't say too much, but he's just like Charlie, just such a gentle, lovely, incredible, kind, just amazing.
Yeah, that's right. 100% agree.
And sorry, and the son of Rob McCoy. That's the connection.
Right. That's right.
So let's talk about the meaning of all this. And you've spoken so powerfully. I want to sort of end it on California, but let's start broader than that. Your thoughts on where we are now in that sense?
Yeah, it's interesting because I happen to be a pastor. All of us, it doesn't matter even if we're atheists. When times like these come into our lives, everybody considers God. Even the atheists, their foundation is shaken because they have nowhere to go. Think about that. But according to the Bible, when we read the Bible, as the nation right now looks for answers, isn't it interesting that we live in a country, Steve, that historically has always gone to God in times of trouble? Prayer, the Bible, there's vigils that are held, there's prayer rallies that are held, all those kinds of things. We have to stop and ask why. Why does man himself, when something strikes us and hits us, we go beyond the physical realm and we search for something greater? That's within us because we've been created, the Bible says, in the image of God. That means there's a profound spiritual aspect to who we are. If we believe in God or not, we have to ask that question, why? And so I've been asked by many media outlets the wrong question. And this is the question they've been asking me. Pastor, your friend Charlie Kirk was assassinated. How can a good God allow such a thing? And I have been telling them, you're asking the wrong question. Why is it that we allow such things in our culture? We tolerate the wrong things, for one thing. But the biblical answer is, all have sinned, the Bible says, God says, all have sinned and come short of the glory of God. We all are sinners. And when God tells that to us, he doesn't say, you're all sinners, and so I'm going to flush the cosmic toilet and you're going to go down the drain. I'll recreate everybody else. Nope. He says, you're all sinners. Your original mom and dad in the Garden of Eden blew it. Ever since then, there's been murder and death and war. And yet I've come back to your world to die on the cross for your sins, to pay the debt that you can't pay, so that you can experience the heaven that you could never earn. And I want to give it to you as a gift. That's called redemption, salvation. Jesus said, I'm the way, the truth, and the life to that very, very existence. Charlie knew this well. By the way, Charlie knows it now perfectly. And so people are saying, why did this happen? Well, all of us must die. Nobody wants to talk about this, but listen, we live like it. Hear me out. All of us must die. We know that way in the back of our head somewhere, but we want to prolong life as long as possible. I get it. I take vitamins. I try to work out to be healthy and to live a good, long, healthy life. We want to live. And that desire to want to live, the Bible says God has put eternity in our hearts. Isn't that interesting? And so when we want to live, we want to experience a quality of life, again, that's been given to us by God. We know what's right and we know what's wrong. How do we know what's wrong? You can't know what's wrong unless you know what's right. C.S. Lewis made this such a great argument. So when people say that's wrong, yes, it is wrong. But the only way that you know that the assassination of Charlie Kirk or this person getting cancer or this child dying at birth is wrong is because we know what's right. And I've been encouraging people to not focus on that dark end that has no hope or meaning, but look at the good end, or the good start, I should say, that leads to a beautiful end. And that is this. If there's death, there must be life. And if we can dream, and if we can imagine, and if we can write a paper or a song or a poem, that doesn't come, Steve, from any bodily part of what you and I possess. It doesn't come from our gray matter. It doesn't come from our spleen or some little fatty tissue behind my liver. That comes from the spirit of who we are. Jesus said, if a man were to die believing in me, he will live forever. These are the deep spiritual answers that Jesus alone gives us in times of crisis. And so I've been answering people's questions to, how could this happen? Is there life after death? All of these questions are answered listen, all of the questions, Steve, are answered by Jesus. And I want to stress it that way, not by religion. Listen, being a member of the Baptist Church or the Anglican Church or Calvary Chapel or the Catholic Church, you think there's a place up in heaven that's the Anglican department or the Catholic department and the Methodist department? No! Those things have been created by man. There's one, and that's Jesus, and he's personal, and Charlie knew that. We talked so many times over the years about that very truth. And so when people get I think, a spiritual perspective, and then they interpret what's going on in the world around us through a spiritual lens, through what this great book of wisdom gives, changes your life. That's what we've been saying.
Based on what you've just said, I want to put something to you and just tell me if where I'm going wrong or whether you agree. As you were talking, and as in that sense of trying to make sense of this, here's a thing that came to my mind, which is one of the things that I've been saying privately, I may have said it publicly as well, certainly thinking is one of the cruelties of this is that point, well, look what he achieved in those, in those short years. Just imagine what he could have achieved in another 31, another 62, and so on. And then I was just thinking, and that's the cruelty of it, that we were, and this is some of the language that's been in my head, we were robbed of that, it's been stolen, those sorts of words. And then I was just wondering, well, maybe it's true that actually this extraordinary response is better because actually it's going to be bigger. And it's not just going to be Charlie, it's going to be an army of people. And that maybe is the point.
Steve, I can hardly get the smile off my face. And by the way, folks, we did not rehearse this podcast. The Bible says, Romans 8:28, Charlie loved this verse. All things work together for good to those who love God, those who are called according to God's purposes. So, couldn't agree with you more, Steve. In fact, I often told my grandkids, get a picture with Charlie. Sit down with him. Let's get a picture. He's going to be the president someday. Well, guess what? It's human nature to project into the future what could be. And that's called hope. It's a good thing. But look, I got to tell you, you and I knew him and we knew him well. And I kind of lost the forest because of the trees. I knew Charlie was famous, but I've gotten images from Tel Aviv, from the Kennedy Center in Washington, D.C., from London, from Sydney, from Macau, China, from Christchurch, New Zealand, all around the world. Steve, I didn't see this coming. I did not see this coming. And here's the deal. I know this sounds silly, but young people will get this. So one of Charlie's accounts, I don't remember which one it was, but he had 3 million followers on that one particular account. I don't know if it was X, I don't know if it was Instagram, it's irrelevant. But I was told yesterday it went from 3 million in 24 hours. It went from 3 million to 11 million, and it's still going. They grew 18,000 chapter applications on the day that Charlie was shot. And then by Sunday morning, there was 35,000 permits pulled to start chapters of TPUSA in the United States alone. Here's the deal. Charlie was big. And then Charlie went to heaven, and Charlie's bigger now than he ever has been. And I believe that in the next month, he's going to be 10 times bigger. This is not about Charlie Kirk. This is about the love of freedom, free speech, about righteousness, about faith, and about the cry of the human heart, Steve, which you're so articulate to do, and that is to express your First Amendment rights. And by the way, our founding fathers made 1 and 2 amendments, First Amendment, Second Amendment. And this is their conclusion regarding why these must be 1 and 2. Number 1, you can try to shut man up, but he won't shut up. Man will speak his mind. It's not a law given by man. It is a reality given to us by God. Boom, First Amendment. Second Amendment is, no matter what you do to a man, if he is threatened of the robbery of his property or the protection of his family or his own body, he will defend himself. It's a God-given attribute. Boom. Second Amendment, a right to defend yourself and to bear arms. Charlie understood that. He spoke that. There's that internal part of us. And the amazing thing about what you just said is Charlie is going to be bigger in death than he would have ever been, I believe, in life. We don't know, Steve. We don't know if Charlie would have somehow fallen off a curb and hurt his back and become crippled, or somehow be, as our good friend Dennis Prager. I spoke to Dennis Prager this morning, by the way, that, Dennis Prager is laid up in the hospital now, being paralyzed from his shoulders down. But we don't know the future apart from what God has given us. But this we know, all things work together for good to those who love God, to those who are called according to God's purposes. Charlie loved God. And look, he's in the safest place there could ever be right now. He's not, by the way, I love saying this, he's not resting in peace. Charlie's rejoicing before God. Okay, let's focus on that. But Steve, yes, what has happened is actually best for the entire world. And time will show that, I believe, without a doubt.
It's not just comforting to hear you say that. I actually see that I believe it's true, however hard for us it is in this moment. It's interesting.
Yes.
It's a very clarifying conversation. Thank you, Jack. Let me ask you about, I know you have to go. We've got, a lot to do and think about, but I do want to ask you about California. We're both committed to California, but both you and Charlie were there with me on day 1 of this campaign when I made my announcement in Huntington Beach. Tell us how you think about that mission in relation to all this.
Yeah, Steve, I'm going to run the risk of, I'm just going to be honest, and I'm just going to be straight up, because I'm not going to let the criticizers curtail me from saying what I want to say. Because I'll be marked for politicizing this, and yet it's a fact. So Charlie Kirk and I were really excited and looking forward to the first of the year to go all out for your campaign, Steve. From the earliest days when I reached out, as you did, and I said, hey, Charlie, this is who I'm going with. Where are you at? Where am I at? I have the text, by the way. It's saved. I have the text. Where am I at? Seriously, Jack? I love Steve Hilton. I'm going to be campaigning for him. Now, someone's going to say, how dare you say that? Oh, tough. Stick it in your ear. It's a fact. What do you want me to do? Lie to you? It's the truth. And so, California, why would Charlie be interested? Because Charlie watched our ground game here in California for these last 30 years. He went back to study it and to look at it. California has been turning more conservative, believe it or not, folks. The last 4 or 5 voting cycles have shown that to be true. California is turning more red. And Charlie saw that, and he was very excited about joining the Comeback California efforts that we're going to be launching regarding your campaign, Steve. And California, I believe, is not only going to turn around, It is going to turn around in a massive way. It's going to shock the United States. I told that to President Trump. He didn't believe me, so I'm really super committed to prove him wrong. And then all of a sudden, God brings Steve Hilton and puts it in Steve Hilton's heart. And that's why you and I connected almost immediately, because I had to get together with you. I had become very familiar with you on your wonderful program. I'd watch you every Saturday night. And you were an answer to my prayers, to be honest with you. And so California needs Steve Hilton. Am I endorsing Steve Hilton? I am endorsing Steve Hilton. And I endorse Steve Hilton from the pulpit, and I endorse him everywhere I go, because listen, you are exactly, look, there's some good people who want to run for governor, but to their credit for stepping up, great. But Steve, you've got the skill set, you've got the policy understanding, you've got the ability to communicate with people across the aisle like I've not seen before, and you are the right fit for governor of California. And that's why I'm going all in. And California, the things that you were saying, Steve, and I encourage everybody to go, I think it's your Instagram, but I follow you on everything, and it's either X or Instagram. And please, everybody, listen to Steve's policies on water, on the fire issues, on law enforcement, on taxes, on regulations, policy. Listen to him. I challenge you, take all the candidates and match them up against Steve Hilton's answers on policies, and nobody comes close. And that's why I believe, Steve, you are the most electable, and you are the best candidate for governor of California, hands down.
Well, thank you, Jack. I really appreciate that. Means so much to me, as you know. And the last thing I'll say, and we'll leave it here. When you say we're going to shock the world, the thing that really brought that home to me, and was a real new spur to do this with you and everyone and build this great movement, actually was Erica on Friday with that amazing speech. And she said they have no idea what they've unleashed. They have no idea. And the way I've actually been saying this on the road, and I've said, you know what? The first evidence of that will be when we flip California. That's what this, and that's why I'm so determined to win this for Charlie. And I have no embarrassment about saying that. That's how I feel, that I want to win this for Charlie.
Yeah, I love that too. I would say the same thing. And then Charlie, I can hear Charlie right now say back, that's very sweet, Steve, Jack, very sweet, thank you. But my message to all of you guys has always been bigger than Charlie. It's for this great republic.
Yes.
Win it for the republic. California sets the standard for the nation. California, good, bad, or ugly, sets the pace for the nation. So set it for good, and do it for God and for the love of man and for this great republic. You can hear him saying that right now.
Absolutely. I literally can. That's very sweet. Like, exactly what he would say. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wonderful, Jack. Thank you so much. There's no one I would rather have had this conversation with to honor Charlie in this special episode of the show than you. So I'm thrilled that we could do it. I'll see you very soon. Thank you, Jack.
I'll see you soon, and we'll do many more of these, Steve. I have a feeling.
Andrew, you know, we're friends. We've been talking for years. You're right in the middle of it. We're taping this on the evening of Tuesday. You're right in the thick of the preparations. I appreciate so much you took the time just to speak to us a little bit. I'm going to start with the same question that I asked Jack Hibbs, which is just how are you feeling right now?
You know, we're keeping ourselves busy, so that helps. You know, we've got a huge stadium event to plan, and as incredible as so many of the Turning Point events have been throughout the years, and the amazing production skills that we have, and capacity and capabilities, it's unlike anything we've done before. And we're doing it at Cardinal Stadium in Glendale, Arizona on Sunday, and the president's going to be there, the vice president's going to be there. So yeah, I mean, we've got a lot to do in the week ahead, plus all the invites you wouldn't believe, Steve. But yeah, so that's helping. But then in the midst of it, you have these moments where you can't help but start thinking about it again. Think about the way it happened, and think about the last message you shared with them and the last phone call you shared with them. And that's really hard. And I don't know when that's ever not going to be hard. But I'm also, you know, have these great moments of just a peace that transcends all understanding. And I know God had a plan, and I know that God's plan did not end by an assassin's bullet. If anything, for all I know, I'm not God. That was all part of the plan, that through suffering, that when the mortal, you know, becomes immortal, sometimes amazing things can happen, and sometimes miraculous things can happen. And in so many ways, what's happening across the globe is only God could do this. And Charlie was God's instrument. And I have if people wonder about the character of Charlie Kirk, if they think it was just, a show that he put on for these debates, I'm here to tell you that that is not the case.
Yes.
It was not an act for the Charlie Kirk show. It wasn't on stage at AmFest or the Student Action Summit. It was real, and it was deep, and it was authentic. And there was this moment that happened, I want to say about a week before he passed, and just something annoying was going on. Somebody was, there was an impediment in our way.
Yeah.
And I said to him, well, we could just tell him this. And in the moment, I kind of had this check in my spirit because I knew that that was kind of unlike me. I basically suggested, hey, we could just a little white lie.
Right.
And it would make the problem go away. And Charlie shot back within an instant. He said, we don't lie. And it was a really powerful thing that I've thought about in the days since, because we could have. Nobody would have known. Nobody was. It was just me and Charlie. We were a lockbox. I did not share Charlie's secrets. He did not share mine. And it would have made the problem go away. But in the quiet, in the secret, he was a man of integrity that would not lie. And not just him. He demanded that I didn't lie either. So when you've been that close to somebody like that for 8 years, and I'm a little ashamed by that story. It's not like it happened all the time. It was, it was a very rare thing that I did, but it was just, I was tired. I just want this thing to go. But Charlie, he wouldn't be bent. And I will forever remember that. And it will forever make me better because I won't lie. And that was what was so powerful, the way he phrased it. We don't lie. If you're on my team, if you're part of this, we don't lie. And he did that with everybody, and I think that's what's been so powerful about this moment. And I've been so buoyed by this moment. I've never had an experience like this where I could feel people's prayers. I mean, I've slept like none, and I don't feel tired. I feel energized to share Charlie's legacy, to establish it, to enshrine it, to make sure that it grows, to make sure that it multiplies and is stronger forever and ever.
Yeah, that's so interesting. You went to that point first up because it's where I wanted to take it actually. Because I've been on the road actually, pre-planned tour of Northern California, and I've meetings and doing all the things you have to do as a candidate, and busy. And then every now and again something happens. Someone says something, and even things like you catch a glimpse on a TV screen and it says Charlie Kirk funeral details announced, and you think, funeral? What are you talking? You know what I mean? Just little things, whatever. So people's good wishes sometimes set you off and all the rest of it. But as the days have gone, and I've been making and Erica's incredible speech, and all these things have happened. But as the days have gone on, the thing that is, I think, dawning on me, maybe you were there right at the beginning, is that the real point here, the legacy, the transformative nature of Charlie is actually, yes, there's the politics and the arguments he made and all of that stuff incredibly powerfully with his incredible intellect that we all recognize. More and more, I think it's his example as a man, the example of how he lived his life and how he was, and it is in our hearts and minds now. That's certainly where I'm ending up. Of course, the political stuff, but do you know what I mean? There's something about that
Totally.
I think
he, truth be told, Charlie was bored by politics. There was months where I would try and book congressmen on the show, and he'd be like, like, he's a good guy and all, but like, I want to talk about deeper stuff.
Yes.
So, I'd try and book people on the show that were going a level deeper, going 2 levels deeper, talking about something that Charlie hadn't thought about yet, or he hadn't been presented that idea before. I mean, he was infinitely interested and curious about ideas and learning things about the mysteries of scripture that he'd never heard before, or learning new philosophical ways of dissecting the human nature. I mean, these were the things where he would be like, whoa. And, he could go for hours if he had the right guest. But congressman, and we have lots of great congressional friends, and so many are wonderful, but his real interest lied at what makes humans tick, what makes them happy, what makes them sad, what makes them anxious. And how do you communicate that to a generation? And I tweeted today, I said 2 things, because I've been pondering this a lot, because so much is becoming clear to me now, because I was too busy too. I was just surviving. It was like we were all on Charlie time, and it was go, 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 more, go, 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 go. But things are coming into focus. And I realized, I tweeted first, I said, Charlie was a prophet and he was calling on the nation to repent. That's what was really happening. He was confronting these stubborn lies that had crept so deeply into the culture. And he was the one with the courage to say the truth. I mean, it was biblical style prophecy. I think of Jonah and Nineveh. I think of Jeremiah and Ezekiel and Isaiah. I mean, these, and they all died basically, and the analogy is almost perfect. And then, and then I thought a level deeper as well. And I thought, it occurred to me that we called them a campus tour, but it was something more than that. These were tent revivals, Steve.
Yes.
That's what they were. We even had a tent, and we put up the tent and the people flocked and they came to hear Charlie dismantle the lies of the zeitgeist of our time.
And it was, in the end, the deep and powerful stuff is, this is how to live. This is how to be a good person. And he modeled it. He showed us. And that's why I'm finding that's the effect that is so powerful. And that's why it's just indelible and will continue to be so powerful. It's an incredible thing.
Steve, on that note, he passed it on to us. I mean, this is not even first person. I mean, I certainly feel it myself, but I can just point to the rest of the team at Turning Point and on the Charlie Kirk Show. We all have this DNA that we were absorbing day in and day out, and seeing how, what Charlie would do in the situation. We did the show live on that Friday, and my goodness, I've never had so many people text me about a show and thank me for doing a show. And we left Charlie's seat open, and it was excruciating. I mean, Charlie died at 12:23 on Wednesday, and that was Mountain Time, so it would have been 11. It was basically 2 days on the mark when we started the show. It wasn't even 2 days. It was less by a couple hours. And here I was hosting his show in tears, but I knew Charlie would have wanted us to do it. And, we were joking, these little moments of levity that just because you've cried all the tears you can cry. We were joking in Provo. There was our small group of our team there. We went right to Provo, a bunch of us. I was not there when it happened, but I went immediately. I was there within 2 hours. And we were there at the hotel, and, we quickly realized that Charlie was, the number one news story the world over, basically.
Yes.
Complete saturation. And, if there was a number one news story across the world, Charlie would have been like, we have to stream, get the stream.
Right.
And, and so, I knew that Charlie would have wanted us to do that. And so we did it. And that's just one small example of how all the team and how we kicked in with this arena. It's not even arena. It's a stadium event that we've never done before. Everybody's just rising to the occasion because he taught us well.
Exactly. It's incredibly powerful. I feel it's transformational for me. I mean, actually, you'd say, what would Charlie do? I'm asking. I literally say that in my head. I've been saying it ever since. It's very, very powerful. And I don't know. I mean, I had a great conversation with Jack Hibbs about it as well, and he made the same point. And as he was talking, I came to the same view, which is that in the sense of, in the end, obviously you have the pain, the unbearable pain, and Erica, and all of that. But the idea that this is a better outcome, because instead of just Charlie, you have now millions of people who are just taking it forward, whose lives are going to be changed, who are going to make such a difference. And it's an amazing thought, actually.
What's interesting about that is, I got this from Larry O'Connor. Larry said, related a story from CPAC where he was on a panel with Charlie about honoring Andrew Breitbart. And Larry was like, well, this panel's full of people that knew Andrew. Charlie, you never met, Andrew Breitbart. He died in 2012. And Charlie's like, Larry, call me. I'm going to tell you all about it. I can't wait to do this panel. I'm so excited. And so they call, and he's like, well, Charlie, what's the story here? He said, well, Andrew Breitbart's death inspired me to start Turning Point USA.
Yeah.
And I just think, how many more Charlies did this assassin just birth into the world?
In fact, that reminds me now, God, all these stories come back. It's so funny. The memories, just that. I'd forgotten this, but one of the first times Charlie and I went out for dinner in LA, he'd done the show. he took me to the restaurant that he used to go to with Andrew Breitbart in Brentwood. And
Who did this?
Charlie.
No, Charlie never met Andrew.
No, but he said it was his favorite place or something.
Oh, it could have, yeah, well,
maybe that was it. He said, this is the restaurant that Andrew Bright, maybe it must have been where he went or something like that.
Yes.
It was, I wanted to go here with you because this was the Breitbart place or something like that.
Yes. Well, it's probably, so Andrew died walking away from, I believe, maybe that restaurant. So he, closed his tab, walked out and was walking home. And then
okay. That must have been it. Yeah.
He died in 2012 and Charlie started Turning Point USA in 2012. And Charlie, it was Andrew's premature death that I think got Charlie to just dive into everything Andrew Breitbart, and it just fired him up.
Right. Okay. That's right. Well, I remember that's why he wanted to go there.
He loved the legacy, and that we spent many shows referencing Andrew Breitbart, and it really was his legacy truly did live in Charlie. He did his best to absorb everything about Andrew Breitbart. And so it's a fascinating thing, just, I don't think it's a coincidence. They say in the church that the blood of the martyrs is the seed of the church. I think it's the same in these types of movements in so many ways.
The other thing, you just mentioned church. It's a small thing, but I just keep thinking about it. I don't know what your reaction is that his name means church, Kirk. Like, I don't know what to make of that, but I've been thinking about that all the time the last
There are no coincidences, Steve. There are none. And, there's all these, everybody's got these little weird prophetic things now. These little drops that are almost, I think, assurances, along the way. And I've got a bunch of them. I think I just feel comforted to know that God is in this. And despite the fact that we all had to suffer this incredible tragedy, I'm comforted in knowing, and I think it's important for people to know this, that, Charlie didn't suffer. It was over in an instant. And, I think there was hope that maybe, the doctors and so people, I don't know that they know that, but it was over in an instant. And that's comforting because he was in his mode and he was so excited that morning. I texted with him like 22 minutes before it happened. He was pumped, Steve. It was the thing he kept talking about all week. He just couldn't wait to get back with the students.
Yes, because it was the first one, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was the first stop of the tour.
I don't want to keep you too long. You've got so much going on. I've got a couple more things I want to ask you, just two. First is, a little bit moving away from the deeper spiritual thing, but it's something I feel very strongly about as someone who's, started companies. I know how hard that is. I've been making this point on the road in every event, but by the way, you should know, I've been doing these events all, for the last, 5 days on the road in Northern California. Basically all anyone wants to talk about is Charlie, and I start by saying, I've got my normal political thing, and I just say, look, I'd like to talk about Charlie, if that's okay. And you can see that's all they want to talk about. And, I tell stories and so on, and it's just everyone's in tears. It's an amazing thing. Literally every event the same. But one point I always make, and it's not as deep as the other things we've been discussing, but it matters to me, which is that when you see the news and all the rest of it, they describe Charlie as conservative commentator or conservative influencer. And of course, he's so much more than that. But there's an aspect that I think is so important, which is as an entrepreneur, the fact that he built this incredible organization. And I've got to know you all, not all of you at Turning Point, but many of you, and had many encounters with Turning Point in different guises. It's such an incredible professional organization from nothing. He built this huge thing. And so the way I put it, this is one of the great entrepreneurial achievements of our age.
Well, I totally agree. And it was actually something I was so proud about him, the aspect of his story in his life that we had recently talked about, saying, Charlie, I want to kind of beef up people knowing you for this. And I want media around it. I want to tell stories around it because, and I've said this before as well, but I don't know that it was ever on a podcast or on the record, but yeah, Charlie, his actual best talent, his most natural thing, because Charlie had many talents. He was a 5-tool athlete. There's no doubt about it. But 3 of those tools, he had to work really, really hard to become as good as he was. But the natural tool was he was entrepreneurial. If he wanted to be worth $10 billion at 31, he would have done it. If his one goal was, I'm going to be obscenely rich, Charlie would have done it. He just didn't care about that. And he cared about building a movement. He cared about preaching the truth and building coalitions. So yeah, I completely agree. I watched him on multiple occasions, Steve, just sit across the table, multiple business people or partners, whatever, and he would draw connections about where the points of leverage were so quickly, and he would draw a roadmap of who should partner with who and how and what the arrangement could be. And then he'd be like, "We can work out the details later." And then we'd be like, "That's perfect, agreed." And he would just do it so quick.
Yes.
Most efficient person I've ever met.
Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, my encounters with that, obviously, you just see the organization, just the fact of it. But I saw it best in those investor presentations, you know, the where you had all the major donors, the people who supported Turning Point financially. I've been to a few of them now. I mean, they're the most impressive presentations I've ever seen. I know you played a big part in it with the, you know, incredible content and the videos, and, you know, it's amazing. But he stood there 2 hours, 2.5 hours, and just the scale of what was achieved and the growth. I saw the growth over the years. It's absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah, he worked really hard at those investor presentations, because it was telling our story. It was telling all the things that we were laboring so hard at. And the people that supported us needed to see what we had been up to. So they were a real treat if you ever got to sit in one. And it showed so much. It was imagine to Steve's point. I mean, it's 2.5 hours of him just explaining in real detail with videos. And not only did it show the professionalism that Charlie had instilled within the whole organization, they were just entertaining, and they were marvelous to watch. And yeah, the scope, see, people probably still don't really understand all the things that Turning Point was doing and really the reach, but he was an amazing storyteller, especially in those settings.
So last one for you. By the way, that reminds me, at some point, I don't know when we're ready, when the weekend's out of the way, I'd love to sort of do something with you and maybe others from Turning Point about the future, about what's next, about the range of Turning Point plans and how people can get involved. But I don't want to do that now. I just want to do one last thing, which is, and I've been saying it because I think it, and I've been saying it on the road, in a way, the happy memory I go back to with Charlie in the middle of all this. And it was, I don't know if you remember, I'm not sure you were there, I can't remember. It was about a year or so ago when he was coming to LA for some important meetings, and he lost his voice. He couldn't speak at all, like literally couldn't speak. And Mikey, Charlie's chief of staff, just called like a couple of days before and said, "Look, he's coming. He can't let people down. Doesn't want to cancel. Would you come and speak for him so that they have something?" I said, "Of course I would. It'd be an honor." Anyway, so we did that, and it was so funny because Charlie literally couldn't speak. He had I can't remember whether it was a little whiteboard or a notepad or something. He's like furiously writing. You know, like it was so funny watching him. He couldn't literally speak, so he was trying to get it all out on this pad and wiping it, whatever it was. But the thing I remember so much is it was when the book was out, the last book, and he did a book signing at one of the events, and we were seated together at the table, and it was a magical thing because you saw all the people coming, and we had a little banter going where he would do the signing and I would like pretend to be Charlie, and I'd say, "Oh, great to see you, thank you so much, really appreciate," you know, the kind of things you do at book signings. And we had a little banter going, but it was just amazing to see in people's eyes as they got nearer what Charlie meant to them, you know, just the effect on them as they approached. It was amazing. You just feel the magic. And I always say, every now and again, I'd look, he was just right there on my left, and I'd look, and I always recall now just the light in his eyes and that smile, and it was just a very special moment.
It's beautiful, Steve. What can I add to that? I totally agree. I used to joke with him. I would say, "You have become like weird famous. Like it's weird."
Right.
And I had been around famous people a lot. I used to live in LA, and no, it was something different. It didn't matter if he was in London, didn't matter if he was in Seoul or Tokyo or Iowa, you know. And I've told this story recently. I'll tell you again. It's hilarious. He was, you know, love Fox, everything. No, this is not a disparagement to Fox. It's a praise of Charlie. But Charlie found himself at this dinner bar situation, having this really long talk with two people from Fox. Personalities that if you watch Fox, you would think, "Oh my goodness, top talent," you know, like, you know. And over the course of this experience, about 100 people came up to the table where Charlie and two Fox hosts are and asked for a selfie with Charlie. And they kept asking the Fox host, do you mind
take it? I love it. That's brilliant. That put them in their place. Brilliant.
Yeah, but that just Charlie meant a lot to people, and you're right. When people got a chance to get closer, and we saw these events, like Charlie, can I get a selfie? So it's, you know, people love
it's something else. Anyway, look, that's certainly how I'm I literally can see it in my. That's what I'm thinking of when I can.
I can see it too. I know exactly what you're saying.
Well, thank you, Andrew. I really appreciate it. It's great to see you today. I'll see you at the. I don't want to say it. I'll see you soon.
It's a celebration. Yeah,
exactly.
Steve, I want California to know. I want your listeners to know. I want the world to know that you were a dear friend. You put Charlie on your show, your Sunday show on Fox. At times when other people wouldn't, we could leave it at that. But you always championed him, and you were a dear friend, and you always believed in what he was building. And I know I keep making it preachy, so I apologize. Forgive me, I'm in that headspace. But the Bible says that he who receives a prophet receives a prophet's reward. And I just bless you, man. I thank you for always being there for Charlie.
Well, thank you so much. And I'll see you soon. Thank you.
Thanks, Steve.
Thank you everyone for your comment. Oops, try to put my comment box right in front of the camera. Welcome. Thank you very much for all your comments. Thank you, Trinity, Sean. You guys, great. And because of this, I'm 100% confirmed. See, I know Daniel Mercury. I know Neil Lackey. I know most of them. I know most of our Republican candidate. I met Sheriff Bianco. And at first I thought I will help Sheriff Bianco, and after I post his first fundraising, people come up to me and tell me about him using the BLM, and also have a false accusation of person, I forgot his name, Venmo, because I don't think it's real name on the YouTube or the X account. So something is not quite right about Sheriff Bianco. He will try, of course, still try to tell people why he knew BLM. It's not new. He say he's praying, but we all see the footage. So well, if someone who really it's all about his ego. Okay, so I don't want someone who want to be our governor for ego's sake, because once he's in Sacramento, we have a super majority of the Democrats. We cannot have someone don't have the principle. Okay, so that's why I was back and forth. Didn't know if I would support Daniel. Daniel is a good friend, and Neil. So after this interview, I am sure. And also, see, I'm not just someone who don't know anything. I'm not someone who just do things for view, or only for view, or for click. I got this book, and this is nothing new, because everything he says in this book is what we are experiencing in California. So, well, all I have to do is flip over a few, kind of know what he's going to say. So I didn't do, too deep of a reading on this one. But this one I did. This one is about him. This is really about himself. And people not even bother to find out, and they jump on the conclusion of they know which candidate is the best candidate. Okay, I did my research. I do my homework. And Steve Hilton has political experience. Well, some people didn't like him because he's elite, and because his wife is in Google, or is she still in Google? I don't know. But and populism, people didn't like that word, populism. And after I read this, after I finish this, I kind of know what he meant by positive populism. It's pretty centered between Democrat and Republican. This is positive populism. And of course, not mega. This is not mega, okay? We don't have a mega candidate, okay? So the closest to mega is this. Closest one, okay? So tomorrow I'm going to meet with him, and hopefully I get more information about him and share with everyone, share with you guys. I think it's important. Important to know each candidate before making a decision. We still have some time. We still have some time left. But see, sometimes we don't know who to follow. So at this point, I just follow Turning Point USA, Charlie Kirk, and also Pastor Jack Hibbs. So this is what I do. This is what I will do. And ignore this swaggy, all this deport. Okay, I don't know what to talk about. Chinese spy, stupid, swaggy. See, I don't know those people. Well, I don't stupid people. Okay, and if people really willing to go do a little bit research about Charlie Kirk, then they will know who Charlie Kirk really is. Yeah, I'm in California. I am in Los Angeles. I have my address in my bios. I have everything. In proof the otherwise. What do I have to prove to you? I have my address. I have everything. You can come, stop by, okay? Stop by my office. So this sometimes you just have to do some research. Don't bother to do some research about me, because look at me. Not a big channel. A small channel. A small potato. Doing a small part in my small community. Okay, I do my best. At the same time, I'm trying to improve my English, by doing practice. Okay, so I appreciate everyone joining my channel. I appreciate all the support. Click subscribe, and I did a lot of short and short video. This is live, so it's kind of like 2 hours. But I did some short, like 20 minutes, 10 minutes, 5 minutes, a different one. Different one. What is real? You ain't talk about the. No, already did everything. Already done. Yeah, because already 2 hours. I appreciate everyone stick around for this long. Hopefully more message, more positive message. Thank you, Trinity. On more positive. We are not here to hate. We are here to love. We are here to love the legals, to love the U.S. legal immigrants. Because I am legal immigrant before become a U.S. citizen. And I'm willing to help all the new immigrants to become an American citizen. Okay? Love this country. This is the best country in the world. Okay? Thank you very much. I see you guys next time. Bye-bye.